Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know how. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we're gonna let it out. Tonight, we're gonna let it out. Tonight, we're gonna let it out. Just like the sunrise, we're gonna let it out. Just like a spark that's breaking out. Can't make a stop, can't turn back now. We know that there's no room for doubt. No, we can't turn back now. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we're gonna let it out. Tonight, we're gonna let it out. Tonight, we're gonna let it out. Just like the sunrise, we're gonna let it out.
Good evening, everybody. It is, what is today? Wednesday the 16th. It's hump day. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. I keep thinking today's Thursday. I don't know why I've been on a Thursday kick today. I even called and canceled a doctor's appointment because I thought I was late. It's been a day. It's been a day, you know. Well, if you're new to the channel, welcome on in. My name is Tanya, or you can call me TitaniumBuilt, either or. I don't prefer one over the other, so you can call me either one. I don't care. But to the returning Titans that are coming back for joining me for another live, thank you guys for joining me. I really, truly appreciate you guys coming in every night. I'm here every night, so that's a lot to ask for, you know. It really is. I was thinking about that earlier today. I was like, man, everybody comes in and they're like, you know, I have like my regulars, and I love that. I love that you guys are here. I'm like your Ashley Banfield for the night. I give you the news. Hey, Ladybug, how are you doing? Hey, Catherine. And I emailed Mary Beth because it's not like her not to be in here for a couple of lives, but she did write me and she apologized. She said she was sorry she hadn't been making a lot of lives. And I said, you're doing great. You're fine, honey. You're fine. She's like, I'll help you research or something. I thought that was so sweet. I said, I'm okay, but if I ever need help, I know who to call. And then someone in the comment section said if I needed an editor, which I don't do pre-recordeds very often, but I'm going to start. So I was like, hey, I might need you, buddy. How are you doing, Dawn? How are you doing? Hey, Princess Elsa. She's going to be back. Where are you going? Where are you going, Princess Elsa? Hey, Michael. Hey, Willows. Welcome on in. Dr. Appointment says my ear has closed up. Oh, and trapped food inside. But the infection is gone. Oh, I bet that feels better that the infection is gone. Are you home? Man, because you were everywhere but home. I've never had an ear infection, I don't think. Knock on wood. This isn't really wood, but it's kind of wood. Triple L, welcome in. How you doing, sweetie? Hey, Petunia. Welcome in. Villanova Law, how are you? Oh, Princess is back. Hey, Ministry of Defense. How was your day today? I had a really good day. I went and got my hair did. It's thanks, Michael. It's oh gosh, extensions are expensive. I almost took them out and just didn't get them redone, but I don't know. I don't know if you're a man or a woman, and you're losing your hair. I'm not losing it. It's just my hair is like thinner than usual. I don't know if it's my age or what, but I don't like it, and I like that it's thicker. So when she took out the extensions, I was like, I need them back in my head. So thank you, Ministry of Defense. Tony's content is amazing, so everyone hit the like button for her. I appreciate that. Hey, Jenny. I had a really good day. It was beautiful here, actually. Yeah, found out it was the next day. That's what I did, Ladybug. I called him back and I was like, can I have my appointment back? I was like, because they wouldn't be able to get me until May 5th. And I'm like, I can't wait till May 5th. I mean, it's not that big of a deal, but it is. I've been living with it for like 3 years. But I just want to give them a little update, on how I feel. I wrote it all down. Hey, Elizabeth. I am wearing her signature color. I feel like this is my signature color too, off-white or like a beige color. Get to the ducking point. I love that. Oh, no, not a problem at all. You're a mod for the reporter room, Elsa? That's really cool. That's cool. I didn't know you were a mod anywhere. That's awesome. I love that for you. Hey, Lenora, welcome in. It's good to see you, Lenora. Hey, Pretty Hate Machine. I think I saw you earlier, maybe in Jay's chat. I wasn't chatting though. I was just listening. I was peeking in. I was wanting to see if Betty was getting arrested. I think that was you that was in there. Or it might have been in Queens. I was going back and forth because I was trying to see if she's going to get arrested. And if you don't know who that is, you don't need to know her. She's just a person on the platform that needs to, be good. Willis, I appreciate that. Thank you, Ministry of Defense. Yes, it's finally done. And it's very tranquil in here. Like when I come in here, I feel at peace. I do. I have like some like little pottery on the wall over here. I need to take a picture of this wall because I love it. I love this wall. There's like a mirror and then there's pottery with this like, greenery, but it's not greenery. It's like that fluffy stuff, that pampas grass. And then I have a picture and has little flowers and says, I am not what happened to me. Okay, so it says, I am not what happened to me. I am what I choose to become. And I thought that was a really good quote. So I'll take a picture of that. You got gifted for Queen Bee's channel? Everybody gets gifted for her. So I can't believe she's still free. Me too, Pretty Hate Machine. If you saw me in Queen's chat, I was kind of trolling a little bit. I didn't mean to, but before we get started, I'm just going to tell you really quick how I feel really quick. If we could just put a little bit of that time that all these creators are putting into Chris, Katie, and Seth, because they're not putting it into Sebastian. Let's be real, right? Or they're fighting with other creators. Like put the energy that they're putting into Brittany J. Like put that energy into another missing child's case or a couple. That would be cool. Like if we could like maybe discuss another case if they were trying to do true crime or whatever. Like I don't know what they're trying to do over there. I don't know if they're trying to try true crime or drama, but you know what I mean? Like maybe just one day we could do that. We could maybe just one day. Like I don't know. I mean, if you're going live twice a day over the same thing, we could cut out one day for like maybe Madeline and Kojakari. I'll give you the cases. I'll even give you the information. I'll give you the whole show, Isn't that an excellent quote? I love that. I have one in the bathroom that says something like 99% of your problems don't even, I can't even remember the song, but it's a good one. But we'll get into it. But thank you guys all for being here. I do appreciate it. If you're not in the chat and you're just watching, let us know where you're from in the chat. We'd love to hear from you. If you guys don't mind, take a second, hit the like button, subscribe button. If you want to become a member, I'll drop the link in the chat. I forgot to grab it, but I'll drop the link in the chat. I'll grab it really quick so I don't forget. And we'll go ahead and we'll get started with tonight's live. We're going to talk about Bryan Kohlberger and just everything that has been going on here recently with him. I have not a podcast. I have a video that we're going to watch. We watched like a part of it like a few days ago. It's probably been about a week. And then I found like the full version. I was like, oh, did we watch this? So I had to go back and check my own live because we've been covering Bryan so extensively. And I've been watching so much Bryan Kohlberger content. I do want to say that by covering Idaho more, it's been really nice to get back into that like algorithm of like, true crime. Because we do true crime over here every night, but for some reason my algorithm was a little funky there for a minute, and I'm just excited to have it back to where it needs to be. Where it's getting there anyway. Because we get the pleasure of and our analytics, it tells us like, who our people want to watch and what they watch. Like I could like go in there right now and probably tell you guys what you're most interested in watching, and you'd be like really surprised. So basically I got on the Idaho website earlier tonight, and I was super excited because I saw all of these new motions, like, new documents. And I was super, super excited. Podcast is normally, I feel like, well, in podcasts now they're more videos, but I used to think of a podcast more of like not a video. It's just somebody talking. Do you know what I mean? And there's no video, but now there's video with podcast. Thank you, Jackie. I just got it done today. I don't know how she got my hair to blow out like this, but I need her to do it every day. I'm in love with it. Thank you so much. Okay, so I saw all of these and I was super excited, but they're literally all of them except for one are motions to seal. There are motions to file under seal. So defendant's trial brief, defendant's proposed jury instructions, state's trial brief, motion to seal defendant's response to state's exhibit S1 and first supplemental request for discovery, motion to seal exhibit E to defendant's fifth supplemental response to discovery. This one, I think we're going to read this one, Order on motion in Lemmy, RE, family members in courtroom. That's the one we're going to read tonight about the family members. Order sealing defendant's proposed jury instructions. Order sealing defendant's responses to state's exhibit S1. Like it's all just order sealing. So they're all the, whenever we read the order seal, it's all the same. We want to seal this because it could like harm somebody or harm, whatever the case. So with that said, we're going to go over to this one and read it instead. Hey, Z. Oh, it means Ministry of Defense. I only have 2 memberships right now, and I'm about to stop them, both of them. About to be a membership-free kind of gal. And I don't have my gifts turned on. I'm like, you ain't getting me. You're not getting me if I want to be in your chat just spying along. I'm gonna put my spectacles on, my glasses. I'm supposed to wear these all the time, but I don't. I don't know why I don't, but I don't. Okay, so I put this under yellow. Normally, like the documents that we read on here, they will be either yellow, pink, or blue. Yellow is like, I usually will file that under like a court document. This could have been filed actually under the state, but after I had already started highlighting it, I was like, we're going to keep it yellow. So we have it yellow tonight. But it's the state of Idaho versus Bryan Kohlberger, and it's an order on motion in Lemmy, and it's for family members in the courtroom. Now, we learned when we were watching the court proceedings that the defense, and I didn't know this prior to this case, the defense has no like right to have certain family members like present in the courtroom. Like they don't have reserved seating for, mom, dad, sisters, brothers, and all that. But if you are on the prosecution, the state side, and you're, the victim, considered, the victim's families, they all get a seat, and they get a name, they get to ask who all can come, if they can get extended family members, depending on how big the courtroom is, depending on the judge, he makes a ruling on who can be in the courtroom or not. Well, the judge can, say, okay, hey, the defendant can have these people in the courtroom. And that's what this document basically is. This is going to be, just what I said. Yeah, basically that. Thank you, Ministry of Defense, for becoming a member. And you gifted a membership. Thank you so much. Dana Babe got it. Where is Squeaky? Old squeaky wheel. He's sleeping on us tonight. So, and this one, it says, the state requests an order pursuant to Article 1 of the Idaho Constitution. And, I'm not going to read all that. So, allowing immediate family members of the homicide victims to be present during the entire trial, regardless of whether they are scheduled to testify. Okay, I didn't know that part. That's why Buster was allowed in there the whole time in the Alec Murdaugh trial, because he was part of the prosecution's witnesses, right? Okay. Attached to the state's motion as Exhibit S1 is a list of those individuals the state considers to be immediate families under the foregoing provisions. They are the siblings, parents, grandparents, and step-parents of the deceased. So they want, the siblings, parents, grandparents, and step-parents to be able to go. Defendant stipulates that the individuals listed in Exhibit S1 may remain in the courtroom during trial, but asks the court provide guidance as to the proper court decorum to discourage family members from wearing clothing or apparel that could be viewed as coercive by the jury. They are already aware of that. Mr. Gonzalez already came out and made a statement. They're not going to be wearing that kind of stuff, when it's like they don't wear that inside the courtroom. They wore that outside of the courtroom. So, and I think that was Christy's sister that did that. But it says, where are we at? The state agrees that court has the discretion to issue rules regarding courtroom decorum. At the appropriate time, the court will exercise its discretion in this regard. However, in his response to the state's motion, defendant requests that his immediate family members, siblings, and parents be allowed in the courtroom, arguing their exclusion would violate his Sixth Amendment right to a fair trial. The state objects on grounds that while family members of homicide victims have a constitutional and statutory right to attend trial, there is no comparable provision for a defendant's family members. The state also contends that it intends to call members of defendant's family as witnesses at trial and will ask the court to exclude any testifying witnesses from the courtroom pursuant to IRE 615. The United States Supreme Court has recognized that the right to a public trial afforded by the Sixth Amendment entitles a criminal defendant, at the very least, to have his friends, relatives, and counsel present, no matter what the offense he may be charged. Courts recognize that having a defendant's family members present at trial advances the values served by the right to a public trial, i.e., ensuring fair proceedings, reminding the prosecutor and judge of their grave responsibilities, discouraging perjury, and discouraging witnesses to come forward. However, like other constitutional rights, a defendant's right to a public trial is not absolute. The right to an open trial may give way in certain cases to other rights or interests. A partial closure of a trial, one that excludes a limited number of persons for either the entire or part of the trial, is permitted if there is an overriding interest for the closure and the closure is narrowly tailored to serve that interest. Yeah, I mean, if they're witnesses and they are going to be saying, like, cooperating the same thing, you want to make sure that their stories are straight and they're apart. They're not, you know what I mean? They're not like able to hear each other and be like, oh, I'm going to say what they said on the stand. Here, the purpose of the closure requested by the state is IRE 615, which provides in relevant part that a party's request, the court may order witnesses excluded so that they cannot hear the other witness's testimony. This is a discretionary decision. While court is sensitive to the state's concerns about allowing testifying witnesses present during trial, the court is also sensitive to the fact that this is anticipated to be a lengthy trial and that the defendant would like the support of his family. Further, the scope of his family members' testimony is likely going to be limited in an effort to reach a solution that upholds the rights of both parties. The court will require the state to submit for an ex parte in-camera review a list of the Kohlberger family members it intends to call at trial and the purpose for calling each of them. Okie dokie. I love this judge. He wants to know everything, you know? He wants to know, like, the deets. He wants to know the evidence, like, now. The state also must also identify why each family member cannot be called very early in its case in chief and articulate why exclusion of the family member is necessary under IRE 615, particularly given the unprecedented publicity of this case, which has made much of the evidence available to those who wish to know, including the proposed Kohlberger family witnesses. The state must submit these materials no later than April 25th, 2025, 9 days. The court will provide the parties with its decision at or before the pretrial conference on May 15th, 2025. For now, the motion is granted as to the homicide victim's family and reserved as to the defendant's family. So whenever there is a reserved hearing, it's just basically saying that he's going to give a decision in later in either writing, or he's going to give us decision, he said, at the hearing whenever we have the hearing on May 15th. So that's what I guess we'll get a decision on if Bryan Kohlberger's family is allowed to be in the courtroom. I mean, they're going to be allowed to be in there for some of it, at least. They might just have to step out when somebody is, you know, testifying. I don't think the state should have to put them all in the beginning, because if the state is telling a story, then Kohlberger's dad might not come in until he's all the way across the country. You know what I mean? Like, he might come in towards the end of the story, whereas the sister, or, you know, he might come in before the sister. You never know. Like, the sister said, one of the sisters supposedly said, you know, she thought Kohlberger could have done this. That was Christmas time. So maybe, you know, I mean, they could be called together. Those two could. I mean, pretty much they were around Christmas time, and then the ride there. I think that's what they would probably want the testimony for. I mean, I don't know what else. I mean, that they would want them for. I don't think that they want Kohlberger's mom. She's been really secluded. I don't think that they would, and maybe Kohlberger's older sister. I think it was his younger sister, the one that is the actress. Supposed actress. They all got fired, you know, from their jobs too. Hey, Free to Be Me. Hey, DM. I was like all the way up. I didn't realize. Hey, Squeaky. Hey, Warflare. Hey, Angie. I would have said hey to everybody. Hey, hey, Moxie's mom. Thanks for hitting the like. Hey, Kathy. It's been an awesome day today, hasn't it? Hey, baby girl. Welcome in, everybody. If I didn't see you, welcome in. Look at that squeaky old squeaky wheel. He's here. He's not sleeping. Hey, Tony. I went all the way back up just so I wouldn't forget anybody. Hey, Niners girl. I think they're going to be there. I think they're saving their money to go. I think they'll be there. I hope they're there. I genuinely do. I'm not a fan of Bryan Kohlberger, but I'm a fan of the law, you know, and I'm a fan of him to get a fair trial, and I'm a fan of him to, like, just have some support there, so they can't come back and say, like, I don't know. They're going to say something anyway, but let him have his parents there, you know? Now, I think that that's going to be some, like, tension in the courtroom, big time, because those two families have not been in the same courtroom ever. They've never been around each other. I think that, like, Mr. Gonzalez may need one of those shockers on his leg that they give the inmates. So they give like Bryan Kohlberger, if he tries to make a move, they're going to shock him. Like, I'm not kidding. I hope he doesn't. I don't think he would, but it's going to be a lot of tension. It's going to be a lot of tension. I pray for the families, and I hope that they're able to, be able to see that some of those things. Just, I hope they don't go for some of those days. Don't go for the days for autopsy days. I don't think anybody needs to see their child like that. I would just step out for those days. That would be me personally anyway. I wouldn't want to see. I wouldn't be able to see that. And that's what sucks about trials, And Bryan Kohlberger, if you did this, just admit it. And so they don't have to really go to trial. That would be nice for the family members to not even have to talk about this. Just do their victim impact statements. And then, they get to move on with their life. Like not move on, but, move forward, I would say. Move forward. But I found this documentary and I thought we would watch it tonight. And we'll pause it here and there. And it's from the CW. And I think that Ashley Banfield and Brian Enton do like some work over there because I forget who owns it. The same guy that owns like News Nation, Law and Crime. He owns like everything. Is it Dan Abrams? Yeah, I think it's Dan Abrams. So they do some work over here. So we're going to watch this and we'll like pause it here and there for commentary. This is from April 10th. So it just came out a few days ago. If you guys don't mind, take a second, hit the like button. Helps your girl out, gets us into the algorithm. And if you guys don't mind, take a second and subscribe to the channel. We'd love to have you. Okay.
Everything about this case was thought-provoking and eye-catching from word go. Maddie, Ethan,
thank you, Be Happy,
Kaylee, and Zaina. These beautiful, smiling faces. These young people's lives played out on social media.
That night, the housemates went to different parties.
Ethan had gone to a fraternity formal with his twin sister as his date. And
I thought that
met
was
back
sweet.
up with Zaina at a fraternity party. Maddie and Kaylee were at a bar called the Corner Club.
Maddie and Kaylee met up with Kaylee's ex-boyfriend, Jack. He and Kaylee had been dating for their entire tenure at the University of Idaho, and they had recently broken up.
After the girls were at the Corner Club, Kaylee and Maddie went to the grub truck, just like a food truck. Then they got a ride home.
Zaina and Ethan came home around the same time as Maddie and Kaylee.
When everyone was back home at the house on King Road, they all chatted for a bit, and then they went to their various bedrooms. Kaylee and Madison went up to the third floor and they settled down together in Maddie's bedroom, while Kaylee's dog Murphy stayed in Kaylee's bedroom, which was across the hall. Zaina and Ethan retired to Xana's room on the second floor, while Dylan went to her room, which was down the hall from that. Meanwhile, Bethany went to sleep in her bedroom, and that was on the basement level.
One thing that we know is that Kaylee and Maddie called Kaylee's ex-boyfriend, Jack, several times, but he never picked up. It just went straight to voicemail. The other thing that we do know is that Zaina ordered food and it was delivered to the house around 4 a.m.
That was the last contact the housemates had with the outside world. And when the news broke the very next day, it shocked everyone who heard it.
The small town of Moscow, Idaho remains on edge tonight following the brutal killings of 4 University of Idaho students: Ethan Chapin, Kaylee Gonsalves, Xana Kernodle, and Madison Mogan violently attacked inside a rental house near campus early Sunday morning.
From the moment that this story broke, I knew that this was going to be one of the biggest crime stories.
Don't freak out, everybody. She's wearing black. I just had to tell everybody that. She's wearing black, guys. She never wears beige when she's on a different show. It's weird, but she always does on News Nation. What if that's her house? It's cute.
That I'd ever covered.
Authorities confirm evidence was found on multiple floors. Carnage so severe, photos appear to show blood seeping from the crime scene to the exterior foundation of the home.
When I arrived on the ground in Moscow, I remember right away there was a lot of confusion.
Can you tell us what you were looking for?
The cops said the murders at King Road occurred sometime after 4 a.m. on the morning of November 13th, 2022. But the two surviving roommates, Dylan and Bethany, who may have been sleeping in their bedrooms at the time of the attack, they didn't call 911 until sometime around 12 noon the next day, which is 8 hours later.
The next morning, Dylan and Bethany find their housemates, and allegedly their first phone call was to their friends. So other students, the victim's peers are coming to the house and seeing what's going on before police even get there.
There's been some speculation as to how the call came in, but it's listed as an unresponsive individual in the house.
Finally, police arrived to find the most horrifying crime scene they've ever witnessed.
The affidavit describes their injuries in great detail. If you've ever seen injuries like that, there's no mistaking them. A knife can do horrific things to a human body. You're looking at a crime scene with multiple victims, multiple autopsies. That scene has to be processed. The neighborhood has to be canvassed for the cameras. Cell towers have to be dumped. And that's just the initial stages of this investigation. And it got bigger and bigger and bigger.
One of the first major pieces of evidence that surfaced in the public came from right after Maddie and Kaylee left the Corner Club and they visited a local food truck called the Grub Truck.
Web sleuths scoured Twitch live streaming footage from the food truck.
Hello. Hi. Welcome back.
Hi. And they managed to find a moment in the footage where Kaylee and Maddie placed their orders. They're waiting around, they run into some people. And behind them, standing maybe like 10 feet away, you can see a young man wearing a gray hoodie.
The Grub Truck video cast a lot of suspicion on Hoodie Guy. This nondescript person acting suspiciously around Maddie and Kaylee, staring at them, glaring at them, acting in a way that appears to be arising their suspicion level.
There's really no way to tell, but people have said that she's saying, "You, Mr."
Good thing that it ended, but
He definitely does.
So Maddie grabs food off the counter. They take off at sort of.
But I will say, I don't know if you guys know this. If you've been with me long enough, you do. But the big guy in this video, because people are going after him again. People are going after, his name is Joe Viggett, Viggett, something like along those lines. But Joe, okay, so Joe was there just to get some food, right? He ends up, because he came out and he did 3 TikToks. That's how I know this. And he said everyone was blaming the homicides on Jack Showalter at this time, the hoodie guy. They were like, oh my gosh, the guy with the hoodie did it. Hoodie guy did it. Hoodie guy did it. Hoodie guy did it. So Joe came out to kind of help him in a way, like stand up for him. Like, hey, I don't know this guy, but hey, I saw where he walked off to. And when I talked to him, like he was cool, like he wasn't, the type that was going to go and unalive 4 people or whatever, And he said on his last video, when they catch the suspect, I am deleting these videos and I'm going on with my life. Like he didn't want the clout or anything from this. And that's exactly what he did. So when Bryan Kohberger was arrested, I literally went to his page like an hour after it. We were live. I went to his page. It was gone. Like all those videos were gone. It was just him and his daughter. Those were the videos that the type of videos he liked to do. So, I mean, Joe didn't do anything, guys. I mean, for the people that are saying the big guy, they're like, he has something to do with it. No, he did it. He came out, he took up for Jack Showalter. That was pretty much it.
Sort of a brisk pace to
and that was the first time that he had met him,
And the guy in the hoodie sort of goes like this.
But if you watch the video all the way through, you see the girls go to the left and Jack Showalter looks like he's going to the left, but he's not. If you look, he goes to the right, but you have to really look. People just, I guess we really just didn't look. It took us a couple times watching the video.
Can interpret they're leaving that video kind of in a rush to get away from hoodie guy.
Just as the speculation about the hoodie guy, Jack Showalter, was reaching a boiling point, a new piece of video taken a few minutes prior to his exchange at the food truck surfaced through Alina and Christine's Facebook forum.
It's surveillance video of Kaylee, Maddie, and the person known as Hoodie Guy walking down the sidewalk.
What did you say to adults? I told
Jack Showalter was being a gentleman, walking the girls to the food truck so they weren't alone. It just puts a whole different perspective. But then they latched on to, oh, who's Adam?
What did you say to adults? I told everything.
What this resulted in was the only corner club staff member named Adam, who was not working that night.
I didn't mean to do that. There we go. I didn't know what I did. And Mary Beth, I'm glad that you're in here. I was just putting that I was worried about you. I don't know if you got my email, but I messaged you. I was like, too nice. Where's she at? And thank you so much for the gifted memberships. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome on in. Thank you so much. Okay. Hey, Aries, how you doing, buddy? Okay, I'm going to go back a minute. That way, because like you guys might have missed something.
I told everything.
What this resulted in was the only corner club staff member named Adam, who was not working that night, was harassed and doxxed.
Oh, yeah, he was. They all were.
While investigators struggled to rein in false allegations, they were actually keeping concealed from the public some really crucial information about the night of the attack. There was an eyewitness account from one of the surviving roommates, and they were able to use that to reconstruct the movements of the killer that night.
I found it.
The middle of the night, the suspect entered through the sliding glass doors on the main floor. And then there's a set of stairs which takes you up to the 3rd floor.
I believe his intended target was one of the girls upstairs.
He had a K-bar knife. It's like one step away from a samurai sword. It's a crazy weapon. He wanted a physical battle.
With the smallest person.
He entered the bedroom where Kaylee and Maddie were sleeping and attacked them with the knife. It only took a few moments.
Dylan, one of the roommates in the house, heard noises above her. Her information is vital. She provides an eyewitness account. She puts the killer in the home at the time of the killings.
Dylan opens her door once, sees nothing, texts her housemates to be quiet. She's trying to go to sleep.
Meanwhile, the fifth roommate, Bethany, was believed to be asleep in her bedroom down on the basement level.
At the same time, Zaina and Ethan had just gotten the DoorDash, and I think as the killer's coming down, maybe like one of them like peeked out and saw him.
There was a struggle outside Xana's room. Ethan was mortally wounded. Xana fought for her life, but they couldn't save each other.
The dog's barking. Dylan hears them yelling and some commotion. You know, she's yelling upstairs for the dog to stop barking.
Dylan got up and went to her door again. This time, when she looked out, she saw the dark figure of a man dressed all in black.
He's wearing a mask. All she can see are his eyes and his bushy eyebrows, which really stand out to her. And he just walks right past her without saying anything and walks out the back of the house. All of this takes place within about 15 minutes. This is still about 4:15 a.m. And she stays in her room and she doesn't call police for another 8 hours.
So this is one of the real mysteries of what happened that morning. Why did Dylan not notify police that something was wrong until around 12 noon on November 13th?
The arriving first police officer on scene did see a knife sheath. That knife sheath had on it a Marine Corps logo.
The knife sheath was found with Kaylee and Maddie. As an investigator, you're securing that item to preserve whatever is on there, be it a fingerprint, a hair, DNA, blood, sweat, anything. A DNA profile was obtained from the sheath. Significant development in the case. Huge nuclear bomb in this investigation.
Moscow police and the FBI were quietly investigating the DNA that was left behind on the knife sheath, and the public knew nothing about this. But there was a parallel investigation going on as well, based on something entirely different, and they definitely needed the public for that.
We started looking for video the day of the crime. Officers on scene had identified certain residences in the area that had video cameras.
Police were able to put together that they were looking for a particular vehicle.
A white car on the night of the murder is seen driving up and down the street, and then immediately after the murders, it's seen speeding away.
In this case, by looking at things such as the distance between headlights, the wheelbase, and some other dimensions that they can put against the video, they're able to determine the make and model of the vehicle.
It's a Hyundai Elantra from the years 2011 to 2016, and it's white. And the investigators put it out there.
They found CCTV footage of a white car driving near state lines headed toward Washington State University campus.
Washington State University is in Pullman, Washington, and the two college towns, they're similar in many respects, and they're practically twin cities.
A Washington State University campus officer checked for white Elantras on campus and identified a white Hyundai Elantra at a certain apartment. The car was investigated and determined to belong to a graduate student there named Bryan Kohberger.
Bryan Kohberger was a PhD student in criminology at Washington State University.
Investigators made multiple inquiries about Kohberger and gathered some additional background information.
He was also a TA known for being an incredibly punitive grader. Everyone kind of hated him, especially the women in his classes. He had a tendency to, I think someone described it as like mansplaining.
Police also learned that he'd been involved in a traffic stop. It was a month earlier, and it was captured on the body camera of a WSU campus police officer.
Hello, I am Officer Loangus. Stops being audio and video recorded.
Kohberger is pulled over by a female police officer in Pullman, Washington for essentially running a red light. And what you see is somebody who's not intimidated to interact with a police officer in a somewhat exhaustive way.
You ran the red light.
What actually happened was I was stuck in the middle of the intersection.
Yeah,
so
I was behind you the whole time. Yeah.
He keeps repeating his position, which is that in the state he grew up in Pennsylvania, that's not a law.
In Pennsylvania, when you're stuck in the intersection, you have to make the left. So what would the appropriate thing for me to have done?
Not
just.
You're not supposed to block an intersection like that in Washington. So just by you blocking the intersection, that's technically a ticketable violation.
He's not argumentative with her, but he maintains his position without ever coming around and saying, I shouldn't be getting this ticket.
But in that situation, the best thing to do then would be back up. Not.
I don't know if there's a best thing to do in that situation.
He has a level of cognitive rigidity. He's got a fixed idea about the situation, about what he didn't do wrong, and he's never able to really pivot from that.
Yeah, where I'm from Pennsylvania, we actually don't have like crosswalks.
Oh.
And even when she says she's going to let him go with a warning, he continues again to try and understand the situation. And what we see is somebody who's having a hard time disengaging.
Never even occurred to me that that was actually something wrong, but well, except for the fact
he didn't know how to be socially appropriate. So with Kohberger, what we know is that he probably had a hard time fitting in.
Because of that traffic stop in October, police in Pullman actually had Bryan Kohberger's cell phone number. They'd already pulled the cell phone tower data from the King Road area in Moscow from the night of the crime.
I don't know. You think he was kind of the opposite. Pretty friendly, if you ask me. Wanted to know about the law. I mean, I didn't see really anything wrong with the interaction. I mean, he asked he asked some questions that I probably wouldn't ask. I probably would have just taken the ticket and left because I know the law and I know you can't do that. And I'm pretty sure Bryan Kohberger knows that too. I think he was maybe trying to talk his way out of it, but he just wasn't good at doing that.
And so even without getting a warrant.
But I think that he was good at talking with people. I mean, obviously, he was able to hold a conversation with her.
They were able to compare the last 4 digits of Kohberger's number with all of the cell phone numbers that pinged on that tower from the time frame of the murder. But they came up empty. And this was really a major setback. And the investigators found themselves all the way back at square one.
He went on a Tinder date with a college student, and it was very, very bizarre. A woman came forward saying that they were watching a Netflix movie in her room, and then she was uncomfortable. She got up to go to the bathroom. He followed her to the bathroom, and she didn't know what else to do, so she pretended to throw up and made like throwing up noises until finally he left. And he texted her later telling her that she had like really nice birthing hips. He has a history of sort of misogynistic behavior.
At best, we can say he was socially awkward. He didn't read a room. He didn't understand how to navigate people. When he's a little bit older, Kohberger has a local bar that he goes to, and he ends up pursuing the females at the bar, asking them very personal information about themselves. And when they reject him, he's derogatory towards them, calling them pejorative names like bitches. We're seeing this ongoing pattern with Kohberger of struggling socially, struggling with boundaries, struggling with appropriateness. He is someone that has anger towards women.
One theory about Bryan Kohberger, for which there is no definitive proof, is that he fits the profile of somebody in the incel community. One particular martyr in the incel community is a man in California whose vitriol and anger and hatred towards women actually resulted in extreme violence. His name was Elliot Rodger.
Hi, Elliot Rodger here.
Elliot Rodger wanted to be popular among the ladies, and like he felt that there was no reason that they shouldn't like him because he was rich and had nice cars, but nobody would look at him or anything.
So Elliot Rodger, I just wanted to pause it really quick. I kind of think, I'm not sure, but in the Bryan Kohberger, like in his house, in his parents' home, they collected a book, and they said, it just said book with underlining on page 118. So I'm wondering if, I know that the manifesto it's a manifesto. Elliot Rodgers, he had a manifesto. It wasn't a book, but what if Bryan kind of like converted it into a book, or the police just didn't call it a manifesto. They just assumed it looked like a book. It was large. It was 118 page or 100 and some pages. And they called it a book. What do you guys think? What do you think the book was? Or it could be, I guess, Hangman's Tale or whatever that book was that they read in the college, but I'm not sure. Let me know what you guys think about that. Because I really wonder, like, why would they take a book with the underlining on page 118? Just is interesting. Very interesting.
And he just had a lot of anger in general.
Well, this is my last video.
He posted sort of a revenge video explaining his sort of ideology, and also wrote a manifesto, as mass killers sometimes do.
Tomorrow is the day of retribution. The day in which I will have my revenge against humanity. Against all of you.
Our top story tonight, a 22-year-old taking the lives of 6 others in a shooting rampage near UC Santa Barbara. 2 women standing outside a sorority and 1 man outside a deli were gunned down last night. 13 others injured, and 3 others were stabbed to death at his apartment.
Elliot Rodger killed 6 people in a stabbing and shooting spree in 2014, and he's become a hero of the incel movement.
So I thought that there is a connection with Papa Rodger and Elliot Rodger. He picked that name for a specific reason, and it was because I believe what Elliot Rodger was saying resonated with him. Papa Rodger, he wanted to be like the daddy of Elliot Rodger, or like, you know, bigger than what Elliot Rodger had done.
It's important to note that no evidence has emerged tying either Bryan Kohberger or Papa Rodger to online posts and incel forums, or that they expressed admiration for Elliot Rodger. But the parallels, they really are hard to ignore.
The fact that Elliot Rodger targeted the Alpha Phi sorority house at UC Santa Barbara, the same sorority that Kaylee Gonzalez belonged to. Is that a coincidence?
When the police said that they were looking for a white Elantra, that just set off pandemonium on the page. Papa Rodger was insistent this white Elantra was a red herring, that it had nothing to do with the crime, was bogus, that we should be focusing on other things.
In the first weeks of December, despite having no proof at all, the members of the forum began to speculate that Papa Rodger was actually the killer.
People would ask for his removal. Like, you're going to get rid of this guy or what? Because he's kind of scaring me. He's freaking me out. But I saw no reason to remove him.
Entertainment.
At the end of December, I had to travel, where I was going to be offline and not be able to help. So we asked this member to help out for a little while as a moderator. Papa Roger got into a big fight with a lot of people. He would fight incessantly with members in our page.
The wanting to see the maximum destruction, wanting to see the effects of your decision making, and stirring the pot with the online community is something we do see sometimes in narcissistic individuals.
He had gotten several warnings. And this moderator that we had asked to help fill in removed him from the page.
I was not happy with that decision. When you remove somebody like that, a good chunk of their information goes with them. There's a lot of information that's now deleted completely. And what if there's some key evidence there?
Thankfully, we started taking tons of screenshots of things that he said on the page before it was removed. Papa Roger was removed from the page somewhere between 4 and 6 p.m. And within the hour, Papa Roger opens a new Facebook group called Moscow Murders Anything Goes.
Once police started
Not taking away
looking
his First
into
Amendment
Bryan
right.
Kohberger, the more they learned about him, the more intriguing he became as a potential suspect.
When Bryan Kohberger turned out to be a criminology student, that added an entirely new layer to the story. He ended up going to community college and sort of developing a really intense interest in murder. and that sort of carried him into grad school and beyond. He studied under a very, very prominent professor who's a serial killer expert. And I think that might have fascinated him. But he was known academically for having an interest specifically in crime scenes and DNA. He made plans to drive across the country home to Pennsylvania for winter break. His dad flew out to make the drive with him.
I suspect that there was some type of physical surveillance involved, if not for the full trip, then at least a good portion of the trip.
They were stopped a couple times by police in Indiana.
He was right up on the back end of that van, pulled you over for tailgating. Is this your car? Okay, cool. Where are you headed?
Well, it's a strange exchange. Bryan seemed to avoid saying where they were really headed.
People theorize that the police who made these stops were aware of who he was and had intelligence about his connection to a possible crime.
Perhaps there was a reason why they wanted to slow him down, maybe for surveillance to catch up with him. Perhaps it was also to see what was going on inside the vehicle.
Well, do me a favor, don't follow too close, okay?
Officers never ticketed Kohberger for any traffic violations, and they let him go.
Upon arrival in Pennsylvania, authorities were keeping an eye on Kohberger as a person of interest.
DNA extracted from the knife sheath found at the crime scene didn't yet point to one particular individual, but it helped investigators establish a family profile.
If they only do have that touch DNA and that one piece of genetic evidence, they are going to need other evidence to help back that up and tie a suspect directly to that crime scene. They have to collect DNA directly from that individual and compare it against the court admissible genetic profile.
At the time, Bryan Kohberger was staying at his parents' house in a gated community called Indian Mountain Lake.
The first thing they look to do is retrieve discarded household trash.
But once Kohberger was in Pennsylvania, he was, according to the police, super hyper vigilant about not leaving prints anywhere. He wore gloves everywhere he went.
Come on now, right? If you're Kohberger's family members and your son all of a sudden is wearing gloves everywhere he's at. That's a little weird. I would be like, dude, what's up with the gloves? Right? Like, if I was one of his sisters, I would definitely say that. Like, why are you wearing gloves everywhere? Why are you wearing gloves to the Albertsons? Which, I mean, they didn't know about that, but still, why are you cleaning your car out so clean? You never used to do that before. I don't know. I think that's probably the things that his sisters did see or his sister saw, and that's what made her suspicious of him. But I wonder if his parents knew he was up this late at night, like sorting trash. Like, did his mom ever come down for a glass of milk or something, a cookie, something? Seeing him just sorting his trash. Like, he probably did it every night. Probably threw it in the trash can like a normal person does. And then, like a savage, in the middle of the night, he's standing there fully dressed in his tennis shoes and all, ready to run at any moment, sorting it and putting it in little baggies. His mom was probably wondering where all her sandwich baggies went. She probably thought he was selling weed or something, She's probably like, is he selling weed? All my sandwich baggies are gone.
How someone acts after a crime could be argued to be relevant if it suggests consciousness of guilt. Why would somebody be wearing gloves when they're putting out the garbage or cleaning their car? Is it because they're trying to eliminate certain fingerprint evidence or anything that could be tied back to them?
Okay, now if I was taking the garbage out or cleaning my car, I'd probably wear gloves. I probably would wear gloves. I'm not going to say I wouldn't. But sorting my trash, I would never do that. If you have OCD, you're not touching your trash after it's in the trash can. It's there. It's gone. It's dead to you.
Unfortunately for him, his parents were not being as hypervigilant.
Well, it was 1:30 in the morning, honey.
So police were able to get the family's trash.
He's 28.
They pulled that DNA from Bryan Kohberger's parents' house, and it didn't match the suspect. Well, there's two males in this home that we know of, right? There's Bryan and his father. This is male DNA. Let's run a paternity comparison. And they got the match then. They apparently got his father's DNA. Now, because his father is a first-degree relative, they can still use that STR profile.
That was the final straw. Investigators at that point were 99.9998% certain they had the right guy. Bryan Kohberger's cell records were a treasure trove of information. Wouldn't you know, Mr. Kohberger's phone was turned off at 2:47 a.m. the night of the murders. It also revealed that the phone was turned back on and traveling from Idaho back into Washington after 4:30 a.m. Now, why would someone turn off their phone at 2:30 in the morning only to turn it back on at 4:30?
Committing a crime.
Anytime somebody turns off their phone, it suggests that they're trying not to be picked up by communications networks during that particular time.
Prior to the murders, a continued examination of Bryan Kohberger's cell phone revealed that on 12 separate occasions, Mr. Kohberger's phone is found in the area of King Road, essentially in the middle of the night. Was he stalking our young victims? Was he preparing to commit the crime? See, I look at that in those 12 occasions, and then I look at November 13th and I say that occasion was different because when he left his house that 13th time at 2:47 a.m., he shut his phone off. Why?
Go time.
The FBI assembled a team on the ground in Pennsylvania. All the parties agreed it was time to act.
And did they? Oh, and boy, did they.
A SWAT team rushed from the forested area around the house and surrounded it, broke the front window. The sounds of shattering glass and breaking wood.
He was found to be awake in the residence. A SWAT team from the Pennsylvania State Police, in coordination with federal authorities, served that arrest warrant.
For a lot of people, there was sort of a sweet sense of justice. He's charged with murdering them in the dead of night. while these kids felt safe in their bedrooms, and in the dead of night, the SWAT team came for Koberger.
Poetic justice. It's poetic justice for him, but if he's guilty, but I do feel bad for his parents. His parents were probably out of their minds. They were probably so confused because you would never think that that's your child. You would never think your child could do this. You know what I mean? Oh, I couldn't imagine.
On January 5th, just a few days after the arrest, Koberger made his first appearance in an Idaho court.
This is a capital case. The fact that the prosecution is seeking the death penalty against Bryan Koberger really turns the volume up on this case because his life now hangs in the balance.
Alina and Christine also went back over Papa Roger's new Facebook group, Moscow Murders Anything Goes. And they discovered something very odd.
When Bryan Koberger is arrested, Papa Roger profile goes blank. You don't see it anymore. There's no more interactions at all. That just sent chills up my spine, like, oh my God, he probably was in the group.
That whole profile gets erased from the internet. And that admin gets erased as well. And poof, gone.
I believe that the police and the FBI probably work to get all of this information offline so they can use it in their case.
There's no mention of Papa Roger in the probable cause affidavit or really any evidence that the FBI took down the account. In fact, there may be no connection to Koberger at all. But Alina and Christine could not help but notice something very striking about the Papa Roger profile picture.
His actual profile picture is of a Russian military guy from Moscow.
Looks just like him. You tell me that's not Bryan Koberger. Tell me that's not Bryan Koberger put through one of those AI-generated bullcrap machines. You know what I mean? That's what I think that it looks like. I mean, it's not, but that's what it looks like, right?
In my eyes, he does resemble the suspect. I see it 100%.
Absolutely.
If you were to look at Koberger sideways, like his profile, I feel like that looks just like him.
Just like him.
I think for Koberger, if in fact he...
Even the indented cheek, like right there, like where he's clenching, because he clenches when he's in court. That's what it looks like.
Was that profile Papa Roger, if this was a thrill-seeking situation for him, a thrill-seeking event, dropping these little clues, dropping these hints helps him not only relive the high, but it helps him stay in control and create sort of a secondary high for himself, which is the hunt for him.
You can see that excavator at work, making quick work of the front side of the house, which is essentially...
That was devastating to watch. As somebody that was pro tear the house down, like I was just like, get rid of it. The defense didn't want it, prosecution didn't want it. I was like, they get rid of it and put something nice there for the students. But when we were watching it at 6:45 in the morning, we're all up early as hell to watch. I think it was like 8, maybe 8 or 7 here because we're a different time zone. But I think it was like 8:45 here, but it was still early as hell. And we got up to watch it and it was very, very sad. It was extremely sad.
Gone now.
All the evidence that could possibly be garnered from the site has been garnered.
It was really
all
sad.
The belongings have been moved out.
Do you think it's at all possible that the prosecution is so confident about their case, they're not worried at all about the house standing?
I've been told that exact thing. I've been told 100%. The amount of stuff we have, Steve, relax.
After assessing everything and the weight of the evidence against Mr. Koberger, it certainly doesn't look...
They didn't even actually sell the house. They gave it to the school. Like they didn't even sell it to them. They were like, here you go. We don't want nothing to do with it. Like the people that owned it were like, bye. Which is kind of in a way surprising because they could have got the house torn down and then used insurance probably to rebuild or whatever they wanted to do. But I think that they knew back then it would have been in very poor taste to do that. Everybody was very attached to that house. A lot of people still are. I mean, I'm glad that we got the 3D rendition. I'm glad that we got the little model that we have where we can walk around and see things. But I'm excited to see what the prosecution brings for the trial.
Great for him, but he has that right to a fair trial, and he's assumed innocent until he is proven guilty in that Idaho court of law.
The two surviving roommates, they've never spoken publicly. And by all accounts, they were really severely traumatized by the events of that night, but they're trying to move forward with their lives. And for the families of the 4 victims, their wounds are deep and raw, and not even a guilty conviction or a sentence of death will fill the void left by the loss of their loved ones.
The main reason I'm up here today is so that everybody can understand what we lost. Because we lost 4 beautiful souls.
When I would meet people, they'd say, tell me about yourself. And the first thing I'd say is, well, I have this daughter, and she's, here's a picture of her. She's on the dean's list at the college.
It's hard that we are without these 4 beautiful kids with us tonight. We are eternally grateful that we spent so much time with him. And I want to remind you that that's the most important message that we have for you and your families, is to make sure that you spend as much time as possible with those people, because time is precious and it's something you can't get back.
Through all this, I hope we can all look through that dark tunnel and see the light and follow that light. And I pray that we have justice someday.
I was making sure that didn't go anywhere next. Look at that. Rex Uhrman's on there. Oh, it did go somewhere. Okay, we'll just do that. We'll just do that. Okay. And sorry about the ads if they were bad. Let me know. Hey Vicky, YouTube did an update, and I saw someone in another chat say something about their ads, and so I did turn my ads down tonight. That's how we make our revenue through ads, right? So that's why I usually keep mine on just like medium. That's what it's recommended to use, but I put it on low. So hopefully that helped a little bit, because I can see the numbers like dropping. And so when it's live, I may turn off the ads if we do like a small goal, like we hit a small goal, and then I'll turn off all monetization. And then that way there's no ads at all. Because that's why I had you guys do the poll, because I don't know who has, how many people have premium, how many people that don't have premium. And you guys surprised me. It really surprised me. So 30% of you guys do have YouTube premium, and that means you don't get the ads, but 30%, well, it says 29 now because it's never 100% even, but 30% of you guys said, wait, hold on. Yeah, 70% said no, and then 30% said yes. So 70% of you guys don't have YouTube premium. So I don't want it to mess up your Your viewing experience. And can you just like skip the ad and it brings you right back, Pretty Hate Machine? Premium is my lover. I see. I love premium. I couldn't do the ads now that I don't have the ads. I don't notice it, like, because I thought about going over to Unfiltered one night. I think I'm gonna do that on our live tomorrow. And so I can see how many ads are popping up because I don't have YouTube Premium on my other account right now. I need to do like a family plan or something to where I can have them both. I think it's like $22.99 for the family plan or something like that. It's only like a few dollars more for the family plan, I believe. I haven't seen an ad in 12 years. Just skip them? Okay. I always feel bad. I mean, I saw the numbers kind of fluctuating and I'm like, oh man. And sometimes that will happen, if there's an ad, and I didn't want that to happen. And I want your guys' viewing experience to be good. I don't want to be like cut off when I'm talking. It comes back caught up. Okay. But then what if it's like something juicy you missed? You have to go back. See, I would be like rewinding a lot. But what I saw a question. I think I saw a question. Harry's name change, yeah. I saw that DB Cooper. I love that. I love that case. It's very interesting because it's not solved. The last I heard, I did hear that there were two guys that came forward that said that they were nephews or something of DB Cooper. Maybe I don't know, they were related, but they were younger. So they were like nephews or something, or grandchildren or something. And they said that the parachute that he jumped out of the plane with, they had it. And so like they took it, like the LE or investigators took it, and they were like supposed to be doing testing on it, but I don't know. I haven't heard anything about it. Yeah, when Watch Late was part of that's what, yeah, Warfare. So I think what I'm gonna do is like I'm gonna try to take them off. Yeah, I don't want to do YouTube. Like I want to like do the ads. It's like I thought about like on my goal, like that they YouTube has us do these little goals now, like on the top of the chat. I could do one for like, I could do like a small goal, and we make our goal, and then I'll just cut off the monetization on the stream, and then just put it back on later. After everyone's done, after we're all done watching, because I feel bad now. I know it wouldn't be my ads; it'd be whatever you guys watch, because I know some people like they'll have ads like creators, and then you get to see like what they're shopping for. That would be embarrassing. I have ad blockers even on my like articles that I show you guys. You'll never see an ad. You'll never, not an ad that, I mean, unless it's on there for some other reason, but it won't be on there for me. I'm so grateful for ad blockers, which I don't really cruise a lot on this computer other than just stuff for like the channel and my store. So it wouldn't be very interesting. Thanks, Moxie's mom. The drama is just getting out of control. I saw at the beginning of the live, if all those creators could just pick up, missing child case, maybe just show a flyer, right? I mean, they're making a shit ton of money. Like, I mean, I don't know. I don't get it. I mean, I do get it. I do. I totally understand. It's drama. Drama sells. I don't want that life, I ain't about that life. I'm too busy. And when you're in drama, you have to keep up with it. Like people are always talking about you and stuff. You know what I mean? I don't want people talking about me. I don't like that. I don't like when people talk about me. I don't want people to talk about me. Talk good about me, So I just stick over here. But there's a lot of drama going on in the YouTube streets. Everybody's going to end up going off on each other. It's going to be a big old power keg. No one's going to be friends after this. Yeah. Yeah. Over there, we're going to do all kinds of stuff. I can't wait to go. Actually, maybe we'll do a live over there tomorrow. I still need to bake that cake. It is a good channel. And it's because of you guys, really. I think me being calm helps too, When I was super uptight, I was very high strung, let's say. especially when it came to the Idaho case. In the beginning of Idaho, woo, I was like a wrecking ball. So, anybody that like said something that wasn't factual, I would close down the live. I'd be like, that's not right. It was pretty bad. I'll admit it. I went on vacation. I did pre-recorded for a week and I went on vacation and I got back and it was the best channel ever. Everybody's been on their best behavior. I did say cake, the classic one. I think I might do a baking, like bake a cake tomorrow on my other channel. We just gossip and bake a cake. I got the circle like cake pans. I know I'm 40 years old and I'm like, I never baked a cake with circle bake pans, like where you like, put on top of each other, you put the icing. I want to make it look pretty, sort of pretty, kind of pretty, a little. It's for Vincent. Yeah, Tony, there's a lot of false information out there with this case. I was out, I like typed in Idaho 4 and I was going through like people's lives and stuff. And I'm just like, where are they hearing some of this stuff, But if you guys have any really good channels, let me know. I'm always looking for new channels to, watch or listen to. And there's not a whole lot, of people that cover true crime right now, I feel like. I mean, there are, but I feel like they do more pre-recordeds or something, or I'm missing them. I'm missing the live or something, the people that go live. Mm-hmm. You dressed up like a bunny, Mary Beth. That's so cute. I bet they loved it even though they were scared. Did you give them candy? It was that shoots from rubber pellets. Oh my gosh, that's funny. Michael, they have to be. Yes, she does do both. I don't know how she can work it out though. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I still feel like the drama would come over here in a way. Because I don't know. If my mouth opened, it probably wouldn't shut. And I have a bad mouth. I have a bad mouth. Like, these people that are on YouTube are mild compared. Compared to like, I can get there. But I don't go there. And you know what? It's been like probably 10 years since I've been there. It's Vincent. Vincent keeps me calm. He's like, it's not worth it. I'm like, thank you. I don't know how he does it. Who else? And if you ever want to be like someone else that calms me down, is Duchess. Like if I listen to one of her shows, her voice is soothing. I'm surprised Clue don't have a backup channel, but she just does it all on her channel. Oh man. And Clue wore those suspenders today. And you know what? Who said something wrong with suspenders and bib overalls? Okay, because I'm gonna say something about the bib overalls right now. I love bib overalls. I've been trying to get Vincent to let me get a pair of bib overalls for like a year now, 2 years. I don't know why I just don't go buy them. He's like, oh, they're all right. Right. So I'm going to get me some this weekend. I'm going to go and I'm going to get me some bib overalls. I've been wanting some so bad. I'm like, I'll live in them. They look so comfortable. I love them. So I'll be joining the bib overall crew. Oh, she didn't post links, Nightbot. Look at this, says Tony who wants to dance. Oh, Hidden True Crime's good. I'm subscribed to them. Michelle After Dark. I'm subscribed to her. I like her. I like watching her doggies. Let me see. Oh, Mo and Company is great. She deserves more viewers. I feel like she needs more viewers. Like I will peek in there. Sometimes I don't say anything and I just peek in and listen. But I am gonna I am gonna do something fun with that channel. I think I'm gonna do I'm trying to think. It's gonna be like a live vlog channel. So it's gonna be like it's gonna have drama in it because it's gonna be like my drama. I want to go over some like subjects that are a little like not in the norm, I want to go over pretty much anything goes on that channel. I just don't really want to like politics or religion. You know how that stuff goes. We all be fighting with each other after that. But anything other than that, I feel like it'll be a good channel. I don't know. I think it will be a really good channel over there. I'm going to tell my story about my car accident. I think I'm going to tell it over there on that channel. And when I go to do it, I will make sure that everybody knows over here. That way, if you want to go over and listen to it, because it's more, that's more like a life vlogging video. And what else? There's some, my cousin died November 2023, and I'm just now starting to process it. Well, I have a folder down here. Who would have thought I would ever have a folder with her name on it, It's just Tiffany's case. So I don't know if she was killed, if she did this on her own, because it was an overdose. So I know that I sound like the cousin that's like, she probably did this to herself, and I'm not coming to grips with that, but that's not it. Like, that's not the reason. The guy that she was dating, the guy that was in the room with her, he's actually in jail still for it. So it's like, what do they have you on with? Because it's this case. It's Tiffany's case. It's the charges, unlawful possession with intent, and then drug delivery resulting in death, and tampering with evidence. And so I wrote him a letter because I'm still getting her case together, because I want to tell her story on the channel. If this was reversed and she had this channel and that was me, she would tell my story. She would, I want her story to be out there, so that way, there's something of her always out there that's like just the facts, but I wrote him, his name's Anthony, and he wrote me back a 4-page letter. I remember her telling me like how much she cared about him and stuff like that. So I was really rude in the letter I wrote to him. And he said, I automatically know that you're not going to believe me. He's like, but I can't really talk about it because it's going through the system, and everything. And that's fine. He said, if you want to give me your phone number, I'll call you. I'll pay. He said he'll pay for it. He said, I can talk to you more, like it's easier on the phone, and I can understand that. So I'm going to write him back, and I think I'm going to give him my number to call, just because he doesn't like scare me or anything. And he can call, and then we can, because I want to know exactly what it was. Yeah. So what I'm thinking that maybe he got it, or he had a lot, like maybe a possession of it. And then maybe like she woke up, because it was like she woke up in the middle of the night, it seems like. And then that's when she did it. So like, I just want to know personally what it was she was doing. Did she know what she was doing? Like, did she think that was maybe like the cocaina, but it really had the Fetty Wap in it, So like that's the only big question I have. If she did this, and he tells me she did, I'm probably going to believe him. Until I like see more evidence that it, I don't want anyone to ever be in trouble for something that they didn't do. And this is my cousin. This is my best friend. I love her. But I don't want someone to be sitting in jail if they don't need to be neither at the same time. So I just want the story. I want to know. Like, I just want to know what happened. And I figure he could probably tell me a little bit more on the phone, not like anything that's going to hurt his trial. But I mean, they've got him on charges, and he's been in there since 2023. He's been in there for a minute. Like, so it sucks. I miss her. I literally just started looking at her file or her stuff like about a month ago. I couldn't even write her sister. Her sister lost her brother too. So it's just, I feel so bad for her sister. I feel so bad for her mom. But I do want, like, her story to be told, because I think that she would want that. Maybe it'll help somebody else, Really, AZ? Wow. I didn't know that. That's crazy. Yeah, he ended up getting the possession, or the tampering with evidence, because he took her phone and her ID with him. I know. Yeah, I'm going to keep a hold of him, and I'm going to be nice. I'm going to try to be nice to see if I can get more information. Yeah, classic. When it's just like, I cried for like the first time when I wrote him the letter, I cried, and I was like, I shouldn't be doing this right now. And it's sad. But I did get to see her about 4 years ago. She lived in Pennsylvania and she lived in Florida. So for us to see each other, we saw each other twice in 2 years. And so for us to do that was amazing. And, like, she was my person that I could, like, literally be myself 100% around. And, like, I don't know, just breaks your heart, Thanks, Lenora. It's very sad. It's just, I always have her in my heart. And we have a little song that, every time it comes on, I think of her. So it is cute. But I'm going to jump off of here now that I'm all sad. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not. I'm okay. I'm not sad. I know that she's in a better place. She's with my mom and dad. She's with her dad. She's with our grandparents. She's probably rocking it up there, actually. All the good ones. All the good ones do go, just too soon. Just too soon. They really do. But thank you for being here. I appreciate it so much. I'll be back on tomorrow at 9:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I think I might do like a cooking live tomorrow. Or if I don't do a cooking live, maybe I'll just sit back here in my chair that's empty tonight, no dogs, and do a live from there, because I haven't done one from there in a while. Yeah, I like doing that. And thank you, Moxie's mom. We actually just redid everything. We just redid all of it. I'll have to take a better picture because you guys can't see as much, but I got like these little hourglasses and little magnifying glass, and there's an olive tree in that corner, and there's a light shooting up, but it needs, I think, better batteries. It's not very bright, so you can't see the tree at all. I'll have to show you the tree whenever I can get the light to go back there. I have 2 other lights I'm not using, so if we needed to use them. And then I got my bunny over here with his glasses. I thought this was so cute for Easter. But thank you so much. I appreciate it. I really, really do. I will see you guys all tomorrow if you're here. And if not, I'll see you on Friday, but it's Thursday tomorrow, man. It's almost Friday. We're almost there. If Mary Beth's in the chat, you're almost there, girl. You're almost there. You only got a day, 2 to go. 2 days to go. But thanks again for being here. I swear I keep thinking it's Thursday. I keep looking at my watch like, is it really still Wednesday? This must have been the longest day or something. But thank you again for being here. I appreciate it. Don't forget to hit the like button on the way out, subscribe to the channel, all the things that I ask you guys to do all the time, ring the bell, share the video, all those things. And I'll see you guys tomorrow night. Have a wonderful evening. Bye.
Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know